Hello, welcome to Passant. If you don't know me, my name is Braden and I am a chess expert. I don't have a chess title, as in being a master, but I'm a decently strong chess player and I'm trying a roguelike. And technically chess is a roguelike if you think about it, you know? You get the start and then you play the same type of game each time and you could take different paths, but this is more of a traditional roguelike like Balatro. If you've ever seen or played that game, it's a pretty good one. Now, this one I've been waiting for quite a while. I'm a pretty big chess fan, I'm a pretty big roguelike fan. I'm also a decent chess player, I like to think, so I will have a little bit of experience going into this, and I'm interested to see how that will translate into the game. So let's get started. Play game. So we have a quick tutorial and a full tutorial. I'm wondering if we should just skip it and try to figure things out as we go. Let's do that. Skip the tutorial. Okay, set up one wall of pawns. So it looks like we have just the normal amount of 8 pawns at the start. We have our king, and then we have this other piece, a courtesan. So place a courtesan on your setup grid, can move one space in any direction. So it's like the king. Opponent's pieces adjacent to the courtesan may not be moved. Adjacent to, okay. Courtesan may not capture pieces. Okay, so it's a restrictive piece. My question is how far adjacent? Adjacent as in just within the 8 squares, or is it like more than that? I guess we'll have to see. I'm guessing it's just around it within those squares. Yeah, so that's important, but that looks to be a good piece. There's hard mode, which we will be skipping, or not, we won't be able to do yet, but yeah, let's just jump into it then. All right, so standard, challenging, so where they have a knight and a bishop as well. We would be probably just losing if we did that, but I'm guessing that because we're able to do this, that the computer would be making mistakes. I'm gonna assume that it's just like a regular opponent, and then we'll have to see how the computer plays up to there, but looks like we wouldn't, in a normal game, we would not be able to win a position where they have a knight and a bishop, even if, in my opinion, even if we had something like a courtesan or a second king. I just don't think it's enough. Generally in chess, even though the king has an infinite value, it also has a value that's considered to be around 4 points of material, or like a knight or a bishop and a pawn as well, based on the types of squares it controls. So I'm gonna go for standard to start, and it's also nice that it has all the movements at the left side here. I think that's pretty helpful. I'm just gonna see how things look as well. I don't think my camera's blocking anything, but just in case, I want to move it a little bit. Hopefully the medallions there aren't super annoying to see. So we have a queen coin. Promote the selected unit to a queen for this game only, then pass your turn. So I guess we could just use this to promote. I don't know if this is like we can only use it once, or we are just always able to do it. And then courtesan is just this one as well. Okay, awesome. I'm gonna do standard. Let's get started. So I'm gonna just treat this like a normal pawn ending to start. The first thing to do is, can we just keep pushing the rook pawn? So if we push a5, they could technically catch up to us. King d8, a6, king c8, a7, king b7, and then after we do promote, but they can take it. So I'm going to assume that we can't actually just get away with it. So I'm going to play c3. And we also have these other things on the side. So there's victory conditions. So checkmating is one of them. This is just what I was thinking of going for. Taking all of the non-king pieces, so I guess just all of these guys, counts as a win as well, which makes the move that I want to play even stronger, I believe. Check the enemy king 6 turns in a row, and then +2 score for 2 turns. Now, the +2 score I'm curious about, because technically we're more than +2 already, because if you look at material count, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 points, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're +4, even if we don't include the courtesan, which I don't know if it has. Oh, it has a value of 7. Okay, so technically we should already be winning, unless it's some sort of computer evaluation thing. But I think the easiest way to win this is to go either C3 or B3 and then C3. C3, they could go C4, but I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to go C3 to start. They can go C4, but I was planning D3. They could go D5, but again, more pawns that come off is actually a bad thing. So now B4. When we get this position, these pawns are now connected, meaning that, let's just say I push the B pawn. If somehow this king were actually able to take this A pawn, then this B pawn would run, because the king can only move 1 square, so it would never be able to catch up to it. Think the king's on A4 right now. We push B6. They could go to like B5 or A5, but we go B7, right? So I'm just going to push these pawns in unison, and now they just can't catch up to this A pawn. They didn't move their king. We could just take this free pawn, and we will now promote. So it looks like we still have our queen coin, which is good. I'm going to give a check on C6. They defend their pawn, and I'm just going to push this. I think that means, again, we can just keep promoting here. And we won because our score was +2. This one right here. I'm not exactly sure how this one will increase or decrease. I'm guessing maybe it's based on captures. So if I've captured 2 of their points within whatever's on the board currently. So for example, if I win 2 pawns from them and I have kept those 2 pawns for at least like 2 moves or something, then that will count as a win as well. But we're still figuring things out. So here's a princess. So it's kind of like a knight. Any of those 4 squares. That's pretty interesting. That makes me want to get that piece because I want to try all the new pieces here. Zombie pawns. Pawns revive in the first empty square found after being dead for 2 turns. Only 1 pawn can be revived at a time. This can activate 6 times. Okay, so this pretty much gives us 6 points of material. That's pretty strong. My first instinct is to get zombie pawns. Demotion coin. I don't know if I'd want that. But zombie pawns and then this one boost immediately transform your lowest value piece on your setup board into a piece 1 to 3 value higher. Huh. That looks good too. This one, okay. So I'm having a little bit of difficulty wondering, is it all of them or is it just one of them? So for example, with this boost, now a pawn could become either a knight or a bishop or anything else that might have that value as well, because a pawn is worth 1, right? Courtesan's worth 7, so it couldn't turn into one of those. It couldn't turn into one of these. This is just a normal, oh, this is a king. It looked like a bishop at first. So it could turn into one of these, but these are technically quite useful. And in fact, it says value of 3, but that's not a bad thing at all, because again, as I mentioned, the king, the way it moves, at least in regular chess, its values usually considered to be 4. So I wonder if that would actually be beneficial. So it cannot move or take, but still can be taken. That looks useful as well. Wow, there's a lot of good ones here. I like zombie pawns. I mean, that pretty much gives you 6 extra pawns in the event that some of your pawns die, of course. But I do want the new piece. Let's get these two. I mentioned that these two looked good to me. Maybe it turns out that they won't be, but I have hope. All right. And I have $3, but I'm guessing that you get interest maybe, because Balatro, there's like an interest system as well. So I'm just gonna move on. Standard, so they have 2 knights or they have 2 rooks. Again, I'm thinking standard might be the best way to go because we see that I have a bishop here and it's on a dark square. So because that's actually important here, for a couple reasons. First off, this bishop is not in the great spot. I would have to play bishop to g1 first move if these 2 rooks were on the board. Because imagine a rook was up here. They could play rook takes on h2. Because they would be attacking my bishop. So I'd have to play bishop g1. They could play rook h1. I'd have to play king f1. And then maybe they take on a2. And then I'm also worried about my courtesan. Maybe I could move it over. Maybe I don't have to. I'm not sure. But I would be heavily restricted. So I think the best thing to do is play against the 2 knights. Again, I'm thinking about this kind of like normal chess. So that's important. Yeah, I'm just going to play the knights here. So we have the bishop. And man, if only this were a light squared bishop, that would be pretty good. The reason why I say that is because imagine we're covering these squares here. We could just start pushing this pawn and we would control this square, this promotion square. But an alternative way to think about it is we actually do control this promotion square with the bishop. So I'm thinking of playing b4. And maybe now b5. So we're controlling this square right here, which I think is quite useful. c3 looks good. Again, I think this trade is not a bad idea. And also when it's taken, just because it's a capture doesn't mean it's a bad thing at all. In fact, that's actually a really good thing because whenever we have pawn trades now, I get an extra pawn. They lose a pawn, but I keep my material. So that's actually winning material for me. Now I'm going to start pushing the a pawn here. And if I get to a6, I think I just immediately win the game. Yeah, because now they can't, I believe, prevent me from just promoting. I just go b6. And then... oh, if I go b7 here, that doesn't work, does it? Oh, tricky. Oops. Okay, let's go... here. Knight f4 is not what I was expecting. This is not the move. Okay, so I could just take this guy off the board. I don't know if I could just like go back and look at previous moves, but that's not a big deal. I will take this off the board and go a7, and now one of these pawns promote. I'll just take here. There's no reason to do anything else, and I'll promote this guy because well, I don't have to. I could also promote the other one and then win the knight, but this looks good too. And let's just keep pushing forward. I could promote immediately, but they can take, so I'm just wondering if I could somehow attack the knight in some way. Like, for example, king to d8 is an interesting move. Okay. I could just take it. Yeah, I'll just take it. And then I'll take here. Or I'll promote. So that's the same thing as just promoting immediately as well. Take on f4, and all of the pieces have been taken. So that is a win condition. Nice. Total reward. Score. It says -4. I'm interested to see why. Maybe it was because I lost my queen when I promoted. Double rainbow. At match start, make 2 random friendly pieces rainbow for this match only. Rainbow pieces spawn a random friendly piece when taken. Okay, that seems useful. Again, it's kind of like the pawn situation where if there's trades, then I actually get more material from it. So it's kind of a just winning material. There's this one as well. This one is just an individual thing because this bishop transformed and now it's just an upgraded piece. I really like the idea of getting a rook though. That would be nice. Because rooks are really easy to use, especially at the start here. I'm thinking of getting it. Yeah, let's get that one. And I would like to, I think, yeah, so I can move them around. Can I please move this here? Okay, awesome. I know I'm making it look like chess now, but I would like the rook on an open file, absolutely. And I can actually upgrade later too, so I could get even more pawns to be pieces on the back rank instead, which I really want to do, but I don't have the money for it. So I could get an extra pawn, but I like the fact that the rook's on an open file. I think that's a good thing. Okay, we have a boss. So this is very similar to Balatro. Every 3 rounds, I guess, there's going to be a boss. There's 5 stages instead of the 8 that you'd see in Balatro. Okay, so there's a rook here. So the fact that I have a rook on h1 means I'm immediately winning. At the start of the match, your pieces, excluding your king, will be randomly shuffled. Oh, that changes things quite a bit. That means that I can't just immediately promote. I'm really curious. So it's pieces. I'm wondering if my bishop is, or if my king is here, if that can happen. If my king is just on the open file and just the pawns stay the same. I think I'm just going to go into it and find out. So all the pawns look like they're still the same. Oh, everything changes. Okay, wow. I'm hoping... Okay, I can't move that 2 forward. I can only move it 1. That's not great. Wait, am I just winning the game? Does bishop takes f7? Yeah, it looks like I win the game because bishop takes f7, king takes f7, rook takes f7 is, of course... It's just checkmate, and they have no defense. So I think... yeah, it's just checkmate. So that's good. Good start. Let's proceed to the shop. Hidden treasure. On round start, mark 1 square. If a friendly piece is moved to a okay, money generation. That sounds nice. Set up a vampire on your setup grid. Can move 2 in any direction, and it becomes the piece that it would take. That sounds cool. That could be useful, for example, if we're playing against the queen, because the queen would... We do have squares that we could move to that a queen or some other pieces couldn't. There's also this one. This one looks kind of cool. Dragon bishop. So it's like a king plus a bishop. All right. I don't know. That one looks sick. I'm going to get it. And then I also would love a little bit more money generation, so let's get that one as well. We're all used up on these. That's important to mention as well. So I don't know if we're able to get more of those later or if we have to sell them. I don't know if we can sell them. We'll find out. Standard, challenging. Because this guy's here, that's actually defended. Everything is defended now. And this is a good start because I could play rook takes on h8 immediately. So I'm going to do challenging because we immediately win this rook, which I will take. Yep, and then we could just take here. The first thing I want to do is to get the money square, even if I don't need to. I guess I'll just go g3 and then f4. I guess I could have just pushed the pawn as well. And here's a little trick. I'll go here, and I'm threatening rook takes f8 followed by checkmate. So if they take it back, yeah, they don't even bother because they're just completely losing. If they took the rook though, then I could take the knight and that would actually be checkmate. So let's proceed to the shot. Hidden bomb. On round start, mark one friendly square. I don't have any space. I'm wondering if I have to sell some of these. I really like the ones that I have right now. Maybe I'll change out the money generation when I get something better. But yeah, I'll stick to this right now. Select a piece to gain half its value in money, then pass your turn. That seems very exploitable. I gotta do that, right? Because if you get near the end and then they have a couple ways to shuffle and maybe like a pawn or something, and you just make sure it can't move, then you could just keep doing that over and over and they have to shuffle back and forth and you can get pretty much infinite money. Unless your value or your evaluation goes down over time, which actually could be a good way to stop that. So there's a knight here. There's no way to... Oh, it is defended. This guy's not defended. I could technically take this, but I have to be careful. If I take this b pawn, so for example, if we move this guy over here and move this rook over here, and then maybe move this one over here to make sure that they can't just take this pawn because whatever reason. Oh wait, no, sorry. I was thinking of this rook for a second for some reason, but it's actually not a big deal. But b7 is immediately hanging. This pawn is undefended. The knights, this one controls this square, this one controls this square. So therefore, I could take on b7. It does allow knight b6, as in the knight would go in front of the rook, but then the c pawn or the a pawn would hang, depending on which one moved to b6. So I'm never actually losing material there. Yeah, so this looks like the best way to continue. I'm gonna do that. And then rook takes b7. Oh. So again, these guys can't actually do anything here. I could just go all the way back. That's a very safe option. I could also play something like this. f3. Oh, it's not a bishop. It's, how does it move again? Yeah, it shows at the top left, Thank you. Good game design. Let's play in classical chess style and play g3. Fianchetto the bishop. When you play a move like b3 or g3, this is called a fianchetto, for those that don't really play too much chess. I actually want to move away with my rook because they could play knight to b6, and I'm not trapped or anything, but I don't see a point in allowing anything over there. Okay, let's go bishop to g2. So turn 4. Okay, I'm still curious exactly how the turn stuff works. So d5, I could play rook to b5 to attack that pawn. And if they push forward, then the knight is lost. They could also play knight b6. I think I should just get this piece out. It can move like a knight still. So I do like the idea of moving it. I don't have it to do anything too crazy either, because this computer doesn't look like it's doing anything too crazy. Okay, we have just a normal... this actually looks like a normal-ish structure, like except for my pawns having not been moved. I'm really curious if I could just play knight c6 and like rook b7. I want to go knight b6 or knight c6. I won't go too crazy with things, but this move looks okay. I'm attacking the rook. They block. So is this pinned? Does this count as a bishop? That's actually really important. I think they're blocking the check. So if they are, that means rook b7 wins the game. But I can also just take here. So I think that's maybe just the easier way to continue. Okay. can go rook to b8, and this is a discovery. Knight b6 check would win material. So let's go rook b8. Goes there. So knight b6 does not win the rook. No, it does not. Because if I go knight b6, there's rook d8. How should I continue? There's knight d6 check. But then after king e7, what's the point? Let's go bishop to h3. This attacks the rook here. And f5. I forgot that there's a rook there. Like, mentally, I'm still playing chess, right? So let's actually go knight d6, because then we can take on f5. We could also alternatively play bishop takes, which is even more interesting, because after bishop takes, rook takes, we have knight d6 check. They could go rook to d8, but we can just trade, king takes, and then knight takes f5. And the benefit of doing that is the material is pretty close to even. I think that means we would be winning because we have the courtesan as well, and I'm gonna assume it's, you know, about the strength of a rook, even though it says value of 7, because I can't imagine it's better than a rook. So even assuming it's a rook, yeah, that would mean we're just winning there. So I'm gonna play bishop takes f5 and just hope I'm not missing anything. So they went there, but is there now knight d6? Looks like knight d6 could work. There's also g4 to defend. I'm really not in a rush. If I go g4, g6, then I have to play knight d6. That could put me in a pickle. Knight d6, king e7. My problem is if I take immediately, or if I take on f7, not d7, f7, then they can take on b8. So I do want to think about that. Bishop to h3 after rook takes f2 would allow knight d6 with the same thing. Yeah, this is tricky. I'm enjoying this. I'm maybe playing this way too much like chess, so I do apologize, but it's just how I am. E4 doesn't look too silly either. I'm thinking of playing G4 and just seeing what they do. Okay, A3. Good. That distills me with some confidence, actually. Because now I'm thinking of just playing maybe even H4, H5. Like, they should be playing G6, but they're not. There's also knight d6 now, which I could play. And then there's no knight b5, though. So I might want to hold off on that. Maybe d3? Yeah, I want to do something a little bit more straightforward. C takes. Rook takes f5. This is exactly what I was talking about. This is actually really good for me. Now I can take. G5 makes no sense. Okay, now things are falling apart for them. We could just take here. And then could we do anything? Maybe just e4? I like e4. Takes. Pawn takes. G6. This is nothing. We'll go c2. and then c4, because only on the second rank, I guess, they can actually be attacked or defended. I'm happy to take. This is not a big deal to me. c4, and then knight b5 can be played. And any trade like this is really good for me. Yep. Good. And they can't catch this pawn. We'll just take that. No reason to rush. Okay, we'll take here. And I want to go here, pick up these pawns. I'm leaving this pawn on the board. Oh, I wanted to take on h5 at the end. So this is what the score plus 10 is for. That's why they added it. That's smart. Because if your value is way too high, if your score is way too high, then you could exploit these things for money, like the shuffling and everything. So that's exactly why that's there. That's smart. Okay, make a friendly piece permanently golden at match start. Golden, I forget what that does. I'm wondering if I could just get rid of the hidden treasure for something else. Rapid chess. You must make a move within 10 seconds of your turn starting. Receive $3 at round end if successful. -3 from your winnings if failed at any point. That's a little tough. 3 seconds or 10 seconds? Yeah. I like to think. I like the rapid classical chess, not the blitz as much. So that's something I'm gonna stay away from. But probably would be best for content. This one, Archer, does not move while taking, but remains in its current square. Interesting. So you don't have to move it back and forth. You could just leave it somewhere to control certain squares. Okay. The first coin slot can also now hold badges. These are the badges. So yes, absolutely. That would be amazing. I still, yeah. Oh, I can recycle it. Yeah. There we go. I can just bring it over here. Awesome. Perfect. So now I know I can sell them. I was a little worried for a sec, but permanently golden at match start. I don't know. That sounds kind of good, but I'm wondering if they're kind of like buffs where they override each other, kind of like Balatro does. That's important as well. So maybe I get a piece. The man seems like it could be good. The Dragon Bishop is also kind of sick, not gonna lie. It looks cool. Let's get a Dragon Bishop, because having a king that also moves like a bishop is kind of dope. You could put it on the diagonal, like a fianchetto, like again on b2 or even a1. And it's incredibly useful, actually. So I've just convinced myself, perfect. It already knew where I wanted it. So when it's here, that means it could look at the exact opposite side of the board, and it could take something, or it could just move there to take something the next move, like a king. So that's going to be really useful. Let's go to the next round. This is a boss. So already... Okay, this bishop does defend this square. This square is not defended, though. This square is defended. Can we move this guy here? We could. This is a problem for them. This is just no undos. That's not an issue. I haven't used any yet. But if I put one here, that means I can take this pawn. They recapture that pawn. And then I take it with my bishop, the Dragon Bishop, and I'm attacking their rook. And they don't really have anything they can do because they play rook d8, but then I take on f7, and they have no good squares. I could even try taking that rook if I wanted to. So I think this would just win the game. Yeah. Let's take that guy. Yes, I'm not worried about that. Let's take right here. They can move over, but then I could just take here. And they really should recapture. And then I could even go right here. And it's the same thing. So they decide to defend it with their king. That does make sense. I like taking some money. So I'm going to do that. I do have a threat of rook here. I'm wondering if this wins the game or not. Because I have to think about it. Maybe it doesn't. It feels close though. The reason why I'm thinking about this, the problem is e6, so I'm guessing that's what's going to be played. Again, that's the thing about chess. You should always assume they're going to play the best move. So I'm just going to bring the rook back. It's looking on a good diagonal. There's no reason to worry too much. Let's get this piece in the game. So knight g5, and then I'm threatening to also actually just take this, and I can promote. I can also just take here first. This just wins the game. Because if they took it, then I could promote to a queen. That's checkmate. I don't want to go there because then they could take it. Actually, no. I do want them. I do want to go here. Because even if they could take it, they shouldn't, because it would be checkmate. Okay. Now let's move. Let's just promote. And then queen e5 check. Let's see what happens here. They go on the diagonal. My queen is also attacked, so I should move it. Let's give a check. Here? Or here? Let's go here. And let's move. I can move over. I could also take that. I guess that means I could take here though, which is even better. Yeah, I don't know why that would matter. So I think the way to win this now is just to go queen b3, queen b5, and then queen a5. Oh, wait, can this guy... Oh, it doesn't matter if he moves there, actually. Let's just go here. And then check, and then queen bishop a6, and then we can take that for checkmate. Cool. Another round done. Cool. $8. That's quite a bit of dollar. Rerolls in the shop now start at $1. I haven't had to reroll yet. Bishops are transformed into dragon bishops when the round starts, but also become unstable. So a 33% chance of just losing the material. So pretty much you want to sacrifice that piece as fast as possible. Move-wise, I don't know if... Oh, it's after they take a piece specifically. So the threat of control with them is good. You could help them to deliver a checkmate by controlling squares, but not having to take anything for unstable pieces. Again, it's just the capturing. That doesn't seem that bad, honestly, because you could just trade it at the start too. Or trade it into something. But when it's a dragon bishop, again, this is a dragon bishop. It doesn't seem bad. I could get a second bishop as well, and then I have two unstable ones. That means I'd have 3 dragon bishops. That's quite a bit. I don't know, but something like the ice coin maybe instead. This is a tough one. Let's go in for it. Let's get the other bishop. Okay, gets put there. And let's get the bishops to dragons. Make them unstable. And... do we add a man? I mean, having a little bit more material is always a good thing, so... I'm of the opinion that it's a yes. And can we sell things? Oh, we can't sell this. We can sell pawns. And we can even sell pieces. That's actually really good to know. Wow, okay. I could put this guy over here. And then just put pawns everywhere. It doesn't sound like a bad thing, actually. There we go. So we have a full board. Nice. I'm going to go to the next round. We'll do challenging again. I'm feeling confident. I feel good about this. Again, so the dragon bishop, it would be nice to open it. So we got our unstable pieces. So this is the enemy man. So they're controlling that square. Actually, here's a cool idea. I'm going to push this guy 2 forward. I don't need to, but I'm going to. And I'm controlling that square. Dang it. That's the one move. Okay, I was thinking of pushing this pawn all the way to a6, and then this is a pin where they can't really take there. So that would be kind of sweet, not gonna lie. But they did not allow that, which is sad. I could move here. Now I'm attacking there. Let's take it. They could take back, but I'm also not afraid of that either. Yeah. And I'll take here. Cool. So they're defending against bishop c6 check specifically. Let's move forward. Just keep developing. Development is key. Remember, you can't win the game with just one piece. Well, actually you can, but it shouldn't be your only goal. Knight to d4 to c6 looks strong. I also like b3. Let's go b3 and play rook takes. I want to go here actually. This controls these squares. That seems a bit crazy to me. What should I do here? Knight to f5. It directly attacks the king, actually. Sorry, I think of it as a knight still, because I'm using it a lot like a knight. But I'm going to go here. I don't want to take there, because they could always capture. So maybe, just maybe, I retreat back to e3. c4, I could just take that guy. No big deal. I'll even give up some material for that, which I didn't think about. That was my bad. d4. This is, again, just an attempt to open up the board a bit for me. I want to take here. They take there. That's totally fine with me. Now, there's bishop d4 to attack the knight. How useful is that? Feels useful enough. The rook could also go to d6 or to b6. But let's just attack this knight. This knight's really annoying. Now we can take it. And we can... Oh, can we... Oh yeah, we still can take it. Good. I'm gonna take this. Oh no. Okay. How should we continue? So the man here... If we use the man and the rook together, I'm wondering if... Like, we have quite a bit of pawns. Maybe I should just get the courtesan in the game. Because, again, they can't really do anything with it. Or, like, I can't take anything with it, but I haven't been using it at all. But if I could use the courtesan and get close to some pieces, that would be pretty nice. I have to watch out for some queen d6 action. But everything's covered with this, with the man, actually. The man is the man right now. Let's bring this guy in. So it can't capture. But can't I restrict now? Like this? Or does it not work? Oh, it doesn't work on the king. It does not work on the king. Interesting. Wow. It doesn't count even as a threat. That's not something I expected. I just want to keep bringing this piece forward, because somehow, if I could, you know, get them stuck here, that would be pretty nice. Let's push forward. I want to go rook c3 to defend. And then king to c5. There we go. And this doesn't matter to me. I'm confident I could do something here. We got some good pieces, okay? We got 2 kings, okay? This is close enough for me, actually, to potentially win this. Push, so it's defended. Let's attack it. And also threaten trade. We're up material, so we can do this. We push. Let's keep going up. Let's push. We can push again. We can give a check even. Doesn't look bad. We can take that, and yeah, this is just like a king and pawn ending. We're up a ton of material. So unless we're gonna lose because of the score or something, I think this is just GG. Oh yeah, let's just bring the king up. They can't take this pawn, and we actually talked about this near the start, where if they take a pawn when they're connected like this, you could start pushing the other one, and there's nothing that can be done. Let's take that. I don't want to risk anything. There's no stalemate. Okay. And let's give... I just want to give some checks, because we just need 6 checks in a row as well, right? That works. There we go. Cool. I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't too crazy. Nice. Plus 14 score. I gotta figure out how the score stuff works. Maybe if you guys are interested after this one, if you guys are interested in another one like this, then I'll do that as well. But or another game run through of this. So pieces placed on the 2nd row of your setup grid now spawn on the 3rd row. Okay, so we get more space, but also, even though we have more space, you could think of it like an overextension as well. This doesn't seem like the most useful thing. Okay, I like the idea of helping hand. But I don't know if it's a... Okay, good. Cool. Gain $1 if it's still on the board. Awesome. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I would like to sell this at some point. Your pieces have an 8th chance to become permanent ghostly when taken. Ghostly pieces leave a tombstone when taken, which revives the piece if a king moves to that square. That doesn't seem insanely useful. So I'd rather just keep my pieces, or... Well, the archer... No, it's not better than any of the pieces I have. Yeah, let's go to the next round. Let's do another challenging one. So this looks like normal chess. This is the weakest pawn right here. It's only controlled by the queen, so if we could do something about that, that'd be nice. Let's do difficult again. So with the dragon bishop, it'd be nice to develop it, but they have the man here, so these are covered. Like, for example, f7 is normally the weakest square on the board because only the king defends it. This is usually a knight, not a man. So because there's this one here, this is no longer the weakest square. This is the other weakest square. It's only defended by the queen, and it's still only defended by the queen here. So if we could do something about that, take advantage of that somehow, then that'd be quite nice. We have an unstable dragon bishop. I'm thinking of going g3 and then fianchetto once again, right here. I don't see anything wrong with this. I mean, I have a 1/3 chance, of it being destroyed. That's something I should have thought about a little bit more. No big deal. Take some money. Man, if only we had queen h5 check. Real chess players know what's up. I'm thinking of moving back. Let's move back all the way. I don't mind c4 or even d3 to start, and then c4. So I'm trying to open up this diagonal. Because if I open up the diagonal, then there's a discovery that could be present. For example, now. If only this queen, or this were a queen or something. I could take that, because then I can take here, but that's a big risk. I think instead I should play king to c2. Again, I'm just going to call it a king. It's a king. To c3, that would defend that as well. That'd be pretty nice. That's a free pawn. Unless I'm missing something. Oh my gosh, it changes to a pawn. This, okay. It's so hard to get used to, right? Because you think of it as a bishop that doesn't take, but yeah, it actually did take. The vampire still seems like a very useful piece, but it definitely has some drawbacks as well. Let's play b3. Make sure that this bishop can still move at the end of the day. Let's go rook d1, attack that queen. We could take this, or we could push. I like taking it, but then this courtesan is attacked. I don't know if I want it to be attacked, though. I think I do, actually. Because then I can take here. They go there, and I can just take with the pawn. I'm actually okay with losing my courtesan. So the rook is there. I can discover an attack on them. Discovery attack. Discovered attack, sorry. Which I think I'll do. Free piece, thank you. Oh my gosh, it was defended. Okay. This is like... It's like chess, but it's not chess. What a surprise. Okay, we have a rook versus a queen, 2 kings, a bishop, and a knight. We're lost, but we can make this work. We can make this work. I don't mind c3 with b4 or e4. Trying to advance more pieces. If they move to e5 or something, then I had a plan. Let's move the king back. I'm worried about just this check at some point. Looks annoying. Let's move actually here to e3. I'll take with the pawn when I need to. And then king f4. And I'll take like this. And everything with the king is defended there too, which is nice. I'm cool with this. I can make this work. Rook d5. Let's go. If they're not careful, then I can go rook e5. King e2. This isn't the most beautiful position ever, but... Okay, now there's no rook e5. That's important. Because the bishop covers that square as well as the queen, so... Maybe rook g5? Or maybe I leave it and then take with the pawn. No, I can't do that. Maybe rook f5? Feels like it might be what they want, though. Okay, they go back. I could take here. No, I can't. C3? Man, all my pawns, when they spawned in, they spawned in the worst possible way. Maybe I should have taken this pawn earlier. F3? It allows their rook to get in, but I just feel like I need to mobilize my pawns a bit. If I could do that, maybe something can happen. Maybe I just need to re-maneuver this guy right here to d3. That's not helping with that. They could go to f3. I could also go c3 for this one move. And then b4, maybe. Okay, so my man is trapped for the moment. d3 it can't go to, so I'm thinking maybe b4. Or if I could just make something useful here out of my material, like bring it back to f4 and then take with the pawn to mobilize it. I think maybe that's the best way to do it. And then maybe e5 here, or king e3. Rook h3 is playable though, which I don't like, but I'll go e5. b4, rook f6. Let's go rook f6. Let's take that. They can give a check, but that doesn't really do anything for them. They're actually giving me a lot here. This was very lucky on my part. That I don't want to play yet. Maybe f2. No, I don't want to play f2 either. I just don't want them getting in, but I can't really avoid that either. So how should I press here? Maybe g4? g5? g6? Everything's defended. If I could push again, that'd be great. Rook f7 maybe? I can't go g7 yet. Can't go f5. Time to bring the king up. Man, f5 looks good. Are there any checks? I guess there's a rook check here. So I should just go f3 or f2 and then f3. Oh my gosh, it's not a rook. It's a king. I kept thinking it was a rook. Okay. I don't know if that complicates things or not. I mean, f5 looks decent. I'm wondering what I can get done here. Man, everything's kind of trapped. Wow. f5? Then they take it with their king. I take back. They take with the queen. I can take their knight, but they take back. That's pretty bad for me. That's pretty bad. I think I lose that. But I think that's probably just the best way to play it, so. Man. Okay. Tougher than I thought it would be. Let's take here. Let's take here. They can take there. Yep. I guess I'll try moving forward. If I could somehow take the rest of the pawns, then it gives me a very small chance. Very small. Let's go here. Oh, they actually did give me the rest of the pawns there. This is actually, this might sound crazy, but this is a little bit of a miracle. Yeah, maybe I just lose anyways, but I mean, it's 3 pawns. It's not completely over. Maybe it's copium. Maybe. Only slightly. I have to be careful how I choose to do this. That was really helpful for me. Let's push this one. They go there. I will go here. Do I have to go there, or can I push? Let's push here. For some reason, this is like, I'm kind of holding on just a little bit, and I really like that. I'm gonna push here. Queen c7 looks like it wins the game, but you never know. b6. Is this stalemate? Does that count? I don't know. Maybe it counts as a loss. I have no legal moves, right? Or do I have to just give up my king now? Huh. This just looks like it's stalemate. Huh. So I got the stalemate, but is this just like, did we break the game? Or, cause unless I have like some sort of option I'm missing. Do I, so I'm wondering if I recycle this, then I can't pass a turn if that does anything. Because technically I guess I could just pass the turn, right? With this thing, to get $1. But what if I recycled it? Because now I actually don't have a move, do I? I'm okay. That's my first playthrough of Passant. I guess it's a stalemate. Next time we'll try to win it. But yeah, if you guys are interested in another playthrough of Passant, then just let me know. Yeah, awesome. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you around. Bye-bye.